we've talked about this before, about him looking for a contract extension, maybe beyond that typical bridge deal, and maybe looking for something long term. Do you think if he continues to produce at this rate, does this complicate the Maple Leafs cap situation even more than expected?
I don't think it does, because clearly they're prioritizing getting Knies locked up on an extension. There's been some chatter over the last couple of weeks that they've renewed talks with his agent. He's in the final year of his ELC. If you're Toronto and you want to get the best deal possible, and you're talking about signing him for 6, 7, or 8 years, it's probably going to resemble the deal that Dylan Guenther signed with Utah, where he's going to be making in the high 6s or the low 7s. The cap is going up. The one thing that Brad Treliving has done, I think you should be given a lot of credit for that, is he has locked up a series of players on very friendly deals. The Jake McCabe deal was in the 4s, which is, I think, pretty good for a top 4 defenseman. He locked up Philippe Myers, who is, he's a bottom pairing guy. You know him from Nashville. He played with Tampa and Philadelphia, but he's a right-hand shot, and he's fit in well on the bottom pairing. He's even played with Morgan Riley this year. They signed him for less than $900,000. So they're getting a lot of people signed and extended in preparation for getting Knies on a long-term deal, and then dealing in the summer with Tavares and with Marner. I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't think Marner is going to sign a long-term extension until after the season, because I think his return to Toronto is completely dependent on how far they go in the playoffs. If they lose in the first round, Mitch Marner will not be playing in Toronto next year. If they go to the conference final, then they may pay him. But I think the priority right now is Knies, then John Tavares on a short-term deal, and then Mitch Marner. And that may not be what Darren Ferris wants to hear, but I think it's the reality.